Hello, River Birch. This is Mrs. Gorgas, and I'm here with a few e-learning updates for you this week. As you heard from Mr. Kingery, we are in phase 2 of our rollout plan for e-learning from spring break until the end of the year. Now that you know and understand the learning challenges, our new structure in Schoology with our folder organization and how to submit your child's work, this week we're really going to share and enhance the additional learning resources and activities that are there, and please know these are all optional. Next week, phase 3 means continue the good work, and you might see slight enhancements to the products that we're already putting out. But your family and your students are working harder than ever, and we appreciate your partnership. We know learning at home isn't easy. Trust me, I'm doing it too. So what we're trying to do is be very transparent with why we're making these decisions. We're focused on equity, so that we're providing an equitable learning experience for all 813 of our learners. We're really trying to make sure that this is easy for you so that you can find the materials and the resources you need when you need them, how you need them. Starting now, we're really going to work hard to address the individual needs of the various students that we serve at River Birch. So here's what's to know this week and what we're going to go through in this video. First, we're going to review Schoology Engagement, where to find your learning challenges and where to submit your work. Next, we're going to introduce the additional learning activities. We're going to share with you a specific way to turn in your child's work, along with some other ways parents have found helpful. We're going to let you know how to connect with us, and then we're going to wrap up with a few announcements. So now that we're over in Schoology, I want to give you a few reminders to make sure that you're receiving all of the information and announcements that we're providing through Schoology. As you can see here, I'm logged in as a student at River Birch, and there is a recent activity and a course dashboard tab. On this recent activity tab, what you're going to see are announcements that adult staff members are putting out for your children each week. You can see that this is where we want you to post your Spirit Day pictures. So if you're joining us on our Spirit Days, which are listed here, we have a folder where you can drop your pictures and your images so that we can use them in a really special way this week moving forward. You can also see that Mrs. Russell is now extending her Harry Potter Club to the 3rd and 4th grade. And 3rd and 4th graders, we would hate for you to miss out on that. And you can see every morning, this is where we're posting our WRBE news announcements. This is where you can celebrate birthdays together and get all of the latest news for River Birch. So parents, don't forget, when your child logs in, if they click the Avon Community School Corporation button right here, it's going to refresh their recent activity. And this is a summary of all of the courses that they're engaged in. Now, if you have a question about what specific announcements and updates might be there, then you could go to their course dashboard. We stick right here on the recent activity board so that she knows all of what's happening at River Birch. As we get back into the 12 activities that we are requiring our students to complete each week, we've made an enhancement to the last iteration. This week, what we want you to know is that we have a Pick 6, which is one required activity in each of the folders. That required activity has been modeled, led, and supported via video by one of our teachers. And then there's a +6 activity. So one student-selected activity in each of those folders would be created. So there are 6 folders, 2 activities each folder for a total of 12. Here's the big difference between last week and this week, everyone. To get used to this structure, we allowed for 5 days to do 12 activities. This week, we're only going to have 3. So we've planned at our house that we're going to try to achieve 4 activities each e-learning day so that we have Tuesday and Thursday to do our related arts clubs. This will require a little bit more thinking and planning on your part about what you can handle at home. As always, you get to make those decisions. We're not fast held to timelines or submission deadlines. The way that we've structured our Schoology folders is that everything will be wide open for you all week long so that you can comment and submit your work when you need to. So now we're back over on Schoology, and I want to show you how this Pick 6 plus 6 looks in your folder organization. So you can see I'm using 4th grade as an example. This is their sample folder that your child would see if you have a 4th grader. You can see the morning messages here, but the 6 folders that we're talking about are starting at content knowledge, going down to social emotional wellness. So I'm going to click on Content Knowledge, and you're going to see in this folder there are all of the 6 activities that are present. You can see in 4th grade Choice 2 is required. So your child will need to complete Choice 2 because the teachers chose one, and then the students will be able to choose the second. You can see that when we have chosen an activity, our teachers have been specific about those activities that were chosen. Their possible materials are listed, there's written directions, some things to think about, and then this video is a teacher-led video walking students through the process and providing them with a finished product of what we would like to see. While we celebrated a lot of work that was done in our school last week, what we realized is that our families and our students specifically need a finished product model so that they know how to model their work. So now that we've reviewed Schoology and where to find your learning challenges, we're going to introduce the additional learning activities next. So back in our Schoology folders, you're going to see a folder that's listed entitled Additional Resources and Activities. Notice the word optional there. Some of our families reached out and said, while these challenges are a lot of fun and my kids are really engaged, I would like some additional things to do with them. This folder's for you. You're going to see that your folders are organized in reading, math, science, social studies, games, and get up and move. I'm going to start in this Get Up and Move folder first because you'll notice on your child's learning challenge list, the Indiana Department of Education has added this line for us. So we decided that we wanted to put this in our Get Up and Move activity folder, and this is where you'll find it. There will be 6 choices of 6 get up and go activities that would be great any time of day. When I go back to the reading resources, I want to be specific so that you know exactly what you're looking for. In reading resources at every grade level, you're going to find 3 folders. In this first folder, Guided Lessons, you'll find a teacher, one of your grade level teachers, providing a video lesson for your students. And so this is 4th grade again, but remember, they're going to do a read aloud. There will be a model for how to complete the written response and answer with text evidence. And then you can see there are some supplemental materials here for your children to focus on and do. So this guided learning is more of a teacher-directed activity. Scholastic Learn at Home is a link and an opportunity that is still guided, but it's not guided by our teacher, and we're going to share more about that with you and actually invite parents to a Zoom call so that we can kind of coach you through that and let you know why we think this is an incredible resource for e-learning for the rest of the year. So in reading, again, you're going to see 3 folders, guided reading, guided lessons, I should say, and these are the 2 that we would say if you chose any, these would be the best to choose. If you're looking for some more independent learning activities, our teachers will be putting some writing prompts, some cursive handwriting practice. In kindergarten, it might be letter formation, things that a child could do independently or maybe with some of your support or help. And then there will be a need a book to read. We've put every link to the things that we know we have access to online in this folder. Storyline Online, you can see, needs no username or password. Pebble Go, we have access to. The username and password are here for all students. Learning A to Z, Epic Books, and Books Online are 3 options that you can discover. Many of them have 3 90-day trials, which would lead us through the end of the year. But those things that we would ask parents to engage in. So these top 3 choices are 3 choices that we know, or 2 choices that we know that we could offer without any additional cost or struggle. So that's the reading resources folder. Remember, we like you to look at this guided lessons folder first because our teachers are there leading learning. If you still want more activities, there's some independent options with some books to read. With our math resource folder, you're going to see just the first 2. Guided lessons, same thing applies as to the reading folder. In this lesson, you're going to find a teacher-guided review lesson or something that we know would be meaningful for your child at this point in the school year. Independent learning will also be there. There will be some review, probably some materials from Bridges on the Math Learning Center, and then the Dreambox link. Our teachers are still assigning short and long-term assignments to your children in Dreambox, so we encourage you to get them on and keep them active in Dreambox. If it's not review material, then it's pre-teaching material for the next grade level, and we think that's one of the most powerful things about Dreambox is the way that it can adapt to your students' responses. What you'll notice in the science and social studies and games and other activities is that our teachers are intentionally putting activities here that would be connected with their 4th quarter content. While they're not specifically teacher-led, we have chosen to really engage in the reading and math portion of that. These are still great activities for your children to participate in if you're interested in additional learning resources. So now we've gone through those additional learning resources folder, and we're excited to hear your feedback about those this week. Now let's talk about turning in your work. Back over here in Schoology, you're going to find a folder at the bottom of your child's e-learning day that says Submit Your Work Here. When you click on that folder, you're going to see a discussion thread or a comment thread for all of the Pick 6 or required tasks in each of those areas. At the end of the week, you're going to see this weekly Friday checkout. I'll explain that in a second. But the responsibility really is for your student to click on that discussion thread. The teachers will provide a lot more guided discussion, so you can see here. They'll review the activity. It was to draw a map of your home, measure the area and perimeter, and find a way to do it if you don't have a ruler, right? But this is the important piece, boys and girls, and parents, help your students know and understand. Our teachers are going to be providing specific feedback on the items that they have asked the children to respond to. So when it says make sure that you share, we need to make sure that they're answering all of those questions. Make sure that you share the 2 rooms that you measured, the area and perimeter for each, and make sure that those units of measurement are included. And so if your child pops on and just puts a discussion about how fun the activity was and there was a picture, your teacher might ask, what rooms did you measure and what was the area and perimeter? So we really want them to pay attention to their guided questions in those discussion threads. Throughout the week, what we're going to ask you to do is keep track of the 12 or more activities that you're doing, but it's really not a test or a quiz, so we want you to hear that. We have the ability in Schoology to help give you a checklist throughout the week so that you can keep track of the activities that you've done on each day. We are going to ask, though, on Fridays that you hit submit on this test or quiz so that our teacher has a record of the activities that all students did throughout the week. So you can see here, the instructions say, just click the button for all of the activities that you did. So here are the Pick 6 activities, and then there will be another, when you hit next, there will be another page to show all of the other activities that they can complete. They hit submit, and that's like turning in their week. So daily, they'll have their discussion threads or anything that they can comment on for their Pick 6 activities. And then weekly, what we're asking you to do is just submit a summary of the activities that you've done. Again, going back to our goal, we're really trying to make this as easy as possible and simple for our students to use. We know that a lot of what we're asking you to do right now is a parent task. Sometimes it takes a parent to help submit the pictures or upload the work. And so we're trying to figure out ways to still connect with the learning, but also allow for ease of use. So we've structured our Schoology tasks in the weekly checkout with your checklist or the daily commenting threads. But if you've found other ways, like using Parent Square to send your teacher a picture, or even downloading the Schoology app on your phone, so there's not that transition from your mobile device to your computer, that's fine too. We just want to make sure that you have as many ways to submit the work that your child's doing as possible. When it comes to contacting us, you know we're here throughout the day. What we've asked our teachers to do is to provide grade level office hours so that if you have an immediate need, that you can get in touch with one of them. But throughout the workday, if it's not an emergency and you can wait 20 minutes up to 2 hours for a response on your question, then feel free to reach out to your teacher. I say between the hours of 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock, most of our teachers are engaged in responding to their families. But I know that we do have several families out there that schedule e-learning from 9 to 11. And if you have a need from 9 to 11, there's always a grade level teacher there who will be ready and willing to respond to any questions that you have. We want you to have access to as much support as you need during this time while you're at home. Mr. Kingery and I are always available too throughout the day, so feel free to send us an email or even give us a call. We still get our voicemails. We will reach back out to you as soon as possible. All right, so now I said we were going to wrap up with a few announcements, so here they go. All right, so remember, we told you that we were having spirit days this week. We don't want you to forget those. Remember, pajama days on Monday, what you're reading is on Wednesday, and sports and game day is on Friday. Mrs. Russell wants you all to know that the Harry Potter Club is open to 3rd and 4th graders this week. for the rest of the year. So if you are a Harry Potter fan and you want to read along with some other River Birch readers in 3rd and 4th grade, please feel free to join. And if you haven't checked out our related arts clubs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, their live video links are stored in Schoology for you to find. They're incredible opportunities. The students who are doing workouts with Mr. Ramirez, who are making video games with Mr. Coppage, and who are making music and art and reading. It has been an incredible week, and we were super excited to see the response from our related arts clubs last week. So don't forget to join in on those. As always, if you have any questions or needs, please feel free to reach out to us at any time, and we hope that you have a great week.